Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who watched my last video, thank you so much. In this video, I'm going to show you how I draw eyes, and I'll be focusing on variation. This video was highly requested by a lot of you guys on Instagram, and I hope this will be helpful to you and give you some ideas when drawing eyes in your own work. If you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So I'm starting with a more realistic eye. For a number of reasons, I think it's very important to get the basics on drawing eyes before you can manipulate the shapes to create your own style of eye. You want to already have a pretty good idea of how to draw an eye in a more realistic style. I'm starting with the basic sketch, and then I start inking the eyelashes first. Something I find helpful when drawing eyes that are in a more realistic style is using real-life photo reference as opposed to drawing from someone else's artwork. Look at the different types of shapes that eyes come in, focus on eyelashes, focus on the wrinkles and folds around the eyes, and also focus on the corner of the eye and the waterline. That's that little line down below when you're drawing the lower eyelid. For inking here, I'm using a micron pigment liner in 0.05, which is a very thin point. It's not the thinnest, 0.03 is the thinnest, but I think this will do. And I love these pigment liners. They're very good for inking really fine details, and they work really well with alcohol-based markers like Copics or Prismacolor markers, which I'm going to be using on this eye. And so now I'm just inking the details like the iris. I've already inked the lashes. And now I'm working on the eyebrow. Another thing to keep in mind is different shapes of eyebrows. So let's begin coloring. The first thing I'm coloring is the shadow in the whites of the eyes, and that's something pretty important to focus on as well. I think it gives the eye a more realistic look. And after I color in the gray, I'm adding pink to the tear duct and even a little pink on the sides of the whites of the eye. If you look at an eyeball, you see that it has a little pink in it. So now I'm going to begin coloring the iris, and you want to keep in mind where the light is coming from, and when you know where the light is coming from, you'll know where to put the highlight. In this case, it's coming from the upper left-hand side, so I leave that white and I color around a circle shape to leave that highlight there. I'm going to go in later on and add some white highlights with some acrylic paint, but I want to keep that highlight there as the main highlight in the eye. And I color from dark to light, dark at the top of the eye, and then it goes into a lighter green toward the bottom. And I color the darkest green from the pupil outward. And lastly, I'm adding those highlights in with white acrylic paint, and after that, the eye is complete. So now, applying what I've told you, I'm going to take the basic shapes of an eye and exaggerate it to make a more stylized look. I'm sketching in a more exaggerated shape, and I'm applying where I want the eyelashes to go. And as you can see, now instead of using a micron, I'm using a black marker just to sketch in with the marker the shape of the eyelashes, and then I'm going to go in afterwards and fine-tune them with the micron pigment liner. This eye has a lot more lashes than the other one, and thicker areas. Now I'm just lining the iris and the pupil, and as you can see, it also has a more exaggerated highlight area. I'm putting in little lines, and because it's a more stylized look, your eye doesn't necessarily have to be inked this way. This is just how I ink. Now I'm coloring, again green, and I'm coloring from dark to light, lightest on the bottom, and then the dark covering over those harshly inked areas where the pupil is. putting a little bit of a lighter green around the highlight. This gives it a little transition from highlight to the green color of the eye. And I did it a little different. I went in with the gray afterwards. And now I'm applying the white touches with the acrylic paint. Because this is a more stylized eye, the highlights are more exaggerated. And after the highlights are in, this eye is complete. And finally, for this last eye, I'm going to take what we've already applied and I'm going to exaggerate it even further. I'm going to make a larger, cuter eye. And again, I'm taking the marker and I'm just sketching in the basic shape, and I go in later on with the micron pigment liner and I fine tune and start adding lashes. Again, I'm drawing in the little folds of the eyelid. And this is a wider, bigger eye, and the corners of each side don't touch. There's also no tear duct, as you can see. So now let's start coloring. I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to go straight in with color. I'm not even going to ink in a pupil. And again, from dark on the top to light on the bottom. In this one I'm using more colors actually because I really wanted a nice gradation. I wanted it to blend well. So I'm just going in and out. Now we're going to go straight in with the white highlights, and different from the last time, I'm going to go and smear the white paint with my finger to give it a smoky look. And after the white paint is applied, finally, that eye is complete. And guys, now that I taught you some variation, you have to draw in that second eye, which I know is tricky. Well, my fiancé put up a great video with tips on how to draw that second eye and not have so many problems while doing it. So head on over to her channel and you could watch that wonderful video too. So guys, I just want to thank you again for joining me on this video, and I hope you'll come back for the next one. And feel free to give me some suggestions in the comment section below about what you'd like to see next on my channel. And that's gonna be all. See you in the next one.